Hey, Mickey, how are you?
Cooking. How are you?
I'm Adam. Nice to meet you. Thanks
Adam, great
for
to meet you.
thanks for sitting down with me today.
Of
Um,
course.
I'm here to talk about your new movie, Agnes. This is Mickey Reece, the writer and director. And I just want to start by saying congratulations. I really, really enjoyed the film. I thought
Hey,
it was.
you look like Christian Slater.
I used to get that a lot when I was growing
Oh
up.
my gosh.
I take it as a compliment because I don't really look like him that much these days.
Oh, that's
Well,
great. Let's
thank you
put you in a
so.
movie.
I'll be an extra for him. That'll be enough. I'll
That's
stand
awesome.
in. But like I said, I really, really enjoyed the film. And I wanted to ask your thoughts on the powerful sort of curveball that the film takes about the halfway point when Agnes and Mary are talking, and Agnes kind of convinces her to leave the convent and go out on her own. Was that was that your intention early on, or was that something that just developed throughout the writing process?
Of that particular scene.
Just the idea of transitioning from kind of an exorcism story to almost a quiet female-led drama towards the end.
Oh, well, first we were trying to, it wasn't even so much an exorcism story. We were, originally just setting out like, hey, let's make a nun movie.
Gotcha.
Let's see what that does. Let's see what that entails. See what we can do with that. Which then became an exorcism movie, and then incorporating all the exorcism tropes in there. And then yeah, while writing it at some point, it did take a turn of just like, all right, let's go, let's go see what she does outside of the convent. You know what I mean? Let's see what this does. And just to kind of create, like a Dead Presidents vibe where you have, the coming of age Vietnam story that becomes them like hanging out in the hood and uh, you know performing a heist.
Yeah.
Just like basically two different movies there, and yeah, and that's kind of a big inspiration of that, like that and the Crying Game is something that they started doing in the 90s, with films that never really took off, and so there was definitely a big influence on all that. But the fun part about it is that is one scene, the scene you're describing of her and Agnes, um, kind of having their heart to heart, like that's a moment that definitely kind of gets us ready for what the second half of the film is going to be. Because the first half is just so much of a satirical exorcism movie of, like obviously, you know, it's so tongue in cheek that, like you know what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like, all right, but how long can this last? How long can this go for? And then to get to and then the point is just like we can do that all we want because we know that the whole movie is not going to be this.
Got you, got you. And that being said, I found the one line that really stuck me was the scene where, as Agnes is talking to Mary and she's leaving the room, she says, "I'll always be with you," and that line comes back at the very end. And now, is that kind of a passing of the torch with the demon going into Mary as she leaves? And could that also be seen as kind of a literal interpretation of the struggles that Mary's going to deal with once she's on the outside of the convent walls, with the loss of her child, the loss of her faith, and just struggling to get by without the support of, the convent to take care of her and dealing
Well,
with.
when John and I write, we talk about every theme, every different parable, and every different scenario that could play out in whatever line, especially when we have like a big line like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, so it's all of it. You know what I mean? It's well, I mean, it's whatever you want it to be. It's your interpretation, but know that John and I were going into it kind of just like weighing every option of just like this could literally mean that she is just straight up taking her demon and putting it into Mary, and that's the second half of the movie is her kind of taking over Mary, and that's why she has the fascination with Paul Sachemo, the comedian, or exactly what you're saying, like more of a metaphor kind of thing too. I mean, it plays both ways, and and it's the same way we play religion in it, in that it's starts out as kind of this kind of cynical view of religion, and then it kind of ends with like this more of like this kind of positive spin on faith, when he's talking about the sandwich and everything. So it's kind of like we're hypocrites, I mean, we're playing both sides of it. You know
Gotcha.
what I mean? And everything. So every intention is there. It's just we're kind of going over it and being like, wait a minute, we don't want that to totally mean this. We want it to also have, this too, just to kind of create layers with everything.
Gotcha. That's that line really stuck with me. And after I watched the film, I was still unpacking it a little bit, and it was late at night, and I decided I'll go back and watch a couple of the pivotal scenes we just discussed. And while I was doing it, I kind of noticed a few early reviews, and most were absolutely stellar, and I agreed with them wholeheartedly. But there were a couple that were kind of put off by the that juxtaposition in the middle, where it just kind of turns into a separate story. As a creative, we go for positive reactions. First off, we always want that. But do you ever find that even just evoking an emotion in the viewer, even if it's not completely positive, does that fulfill you as an artist?
Well, there's I'm older now, but there's definitely when I was younger, it was definitely a kind of like, if I have the loudest, noisiest band and people leave, I won.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know that, and so there is definitely that kind of like trolling aspect of it, like, of just like, if you don't like it, whatever, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm a little older, a little more mature now, and I don't know how I feel about that. But I mean, I understand that that's still there. That to be alienating is not necessarily a bad thing, but in this scenario, it's like, it's almost like the bad reviews will just describe the movie,
Yeah.
describe what it is, and it's like, did you think we did it on accident? Like, of course, that was there to do that. And it's literally to do something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and to I don't want to make a movie I've seen before. I want to make a movie I haven't seen before. You know what I mean? I want to do things that I haven't seen before. And I just hope that the audience finds it to where when they see something that they appreciate, seeing something that they haven't seen before,
Great.
and
And
not just think like, well, it didn't do what I thought it was going to do, or what it should have done, or what I expected it to do, so it's not good.
yeah, I mean, I loved it. I had no complaints here. But I do have
Thank
one
you.
final question for you, and this is more for me. How did you cast three of the members of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2?
Well, I'll tell you, I didn't. It was so Quagmire, they're the production team behind it. That's Elon Gale, Matthew Welty, and Molly C. Quinn. So they were the ones who first took interest in the script, and they said, we want to do this script, and I'm like, cool, sounds good. And they were like, we've got all these actors, and I'm like, get out of here. No, you don't. Get out of here with these actors. That's not, there's no way. But no, they all came through. They came through with the actors, and the actors were all interested. And I was just like, this is great. Like, like, having never worked with actors of that caliber before, it was like, wait a minute, Rachel True wants to play Sister Ruth, but this is, a small role. It's just like, nah, they're in. They want to do it. And I'm just like, fucking A,
That's
let's do it. You know what I mean? And yeah, there is there is it is a Guardians of the Galaxy reunion, but that's just who they're friends with, like James Gunn and everything, and that's just getting them all involved. It wasn't necessarily like, all right, now what we really want to do is get the Guardians of the Galaxy crew. You know what I mean? That's just the social circle, and man, it all worked, and I'm fine with that. I like Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Sean Gunn was absolutely unbelievable in that stand-up scene. I had never really seen him outside of a mocap suit. I've seen some of his early stuff, early on, but not in a long time. And it was just to watch him really take your words, and what he does with them was phenomenal. It
Yeah,
really
it
was
was
a great
and
scene.
he was such a pleasure, such a nice guy too. Just like, man, these I couldn't have asked for a better group of actors to work with. They're all so nice and cool, and I was kind of expecting for them all to kind of big boy me a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like this little guy from Oklahoma, like making movies, but they were all very respectful and nice, and it really, really worked out. It made my job very easy.
That's great. Well, your work shines. It was really excellent, and Mickey Reece, thank you for sitting down with me today.
Oh,
It's really been excellent, and thank you again for the great film Agnes.
thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right, have a great day. Take care.
You too. We'll talk soon.
See ya.